Hello everyone, this is Helen H. and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope everyone is doing well today. I am going to be working on my Advent Word to 2023 tags today. Well, one tag. I just did the word presence. Now, I have a video and I'll link it at the end of this explaining what Advent Word 2023 is and how you can get the words and everything. But real quickly, in that video, I explained that I wasn't going to do all the words and I wasn't necessarily going to do them in order. I was just going to do them as the Spirit brought my attention to a word, then I was going to use that word. So the first word that caught my attention was presence. Presence. So let me just read to you real quick what I have and then we'll decorate the tag. So the verse that I went to for presence was Exodus 33:14. And he said, "My presence will go with you and I will give you rest." Now this was God talking to Moses when he was bringing them out of Egypt when they were in the wilderness. And God had said he wasn't going to be with them anymore because the people were just rebelling against him and everything. And Moses pleaded on behalf of the people and said, "We won't go if you don't go with us." And God says, "My presence will go with you and I will give you rest." So one of the things about presence is, God was present with these people in the wilderness in the form of fire by night and cloud by day. His presence was with them. Well, flash forward to today, since Jesus has lived and died and is now bodily in heaven with the Father, we still have God's presence in the form of His Holy Spirit living in us. If you are a Christian, the Holy Spirit lives in you, and therefore God's presence is actually in you. It used to be that I could be in a room full of people, and I'd be sitting there and somehow I would feel lonely. And I can tell you, since I became a Christian, I do not ever feel lonely anymore. And I know it's because I'm never alone. Jesus is always with me through the Spirit, and that gives me great comfort. So, so the word is presence. And what I'm going to do something different from everybody else, I think. I made the master board and I cut it into pieces, okay? And these pieces are 3 across by, I don't know, it was just a piece of paper. The cardstock I was using was fairly large. It was 3 across by 5.5. So these are 3 by 5.5 inch pieces that I cut it. And I just cut it willy-nilly. I didn't watch, where I was cutting or anything. And so I'm just going to go ahead and pick one. Okay, so here's this one right here. Let's go ahead and use that, because what I'm going to do, I'm not sure how I'm going to bind these together, but what I do know is, now when I do my word study like presence, I did this actually on a piece of note paper from Cabela's. It was at the cabin. I was doing my quiet time and that happened to be the piece of paper I had handy. So what I thought I would do was I'm going to put my writings in a pocket on the back of the tag and then just decorate the front of the tag. So let's go ahead and get started doing that. I'm going to go ahead, well, I'll tell you what, before we cut that, I wanted to put some stenciling on that. Now I have 2 stencils and I haven't quite decided which one yet. They're both kind of similar. There's this one that kind of looks like very loose burlap, and then there's this one that looks kind of like, I don't know, like that. But I think I'll go with the burlappy one. The other one will get used sometime, but I think I'll go with this one. And I wanted to use some gold accents on this. So the gold was a nod to Birdie, the recycled hippie chick. She did some masterboard and she used gold on the as one of the colors on her stenciling, and I really liked it. And also, since this is about Advent, gold, people think of silver and gold and sparkly at Christmas time, right? Even though my background is just cardstock and then it's got some music and inside of envelope paper, nothing real glamorous, some text, whatever. So I'm just going to go ahead and pounce some gold on this, and not in any particular order, like, or pattern. I just want it here and there. I want it highlighted. And I think, you know, right now I'm working on my December daily. I've got so many other journals and so many other things that I'm working on too. I think, all right, that's good enough. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Can you see the gold highlights there? Okay. You know what I might do? Okay, I'm going to put that aside. I decided for the back, I cut these. These are 2.5 by 3. These are just also pieces of cardstock that I'm going to use to put on the back of the tags for the pockets. But I think what I will do, because this is awfully plain, maybe I'll just go ahead and just add a tiny little bit of gold pouncing on the back of the pocket too. Not, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I don't have time to decorate these, all of these, you know, fabulously or whatever. You know what? I was going to get myself a wet wipe or something, and I didn't do that, so I have to just use a dry cloth. Okay, so I just did a little bit of stenciling on what will be the pocket. Okay, so I'm going to put those aside for right now. So let that dry for a little bit. So what I need to do is I need to work on a focal point. And I found this card. This is just a card front. I save all the card fronts. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. It's embossed with all these Christmas trees here. And there's a tiny little bunny by itself all in this forest here. And that kind of made me think of presents, God's presence, because we're never alone. No matter how small we feel, we're never alone. If you're a Christian, you are never, ever alone. So what I think I'm going to do is use this little guy here as a focal point, but I'm not sure if I'm going to cut him. I really don't know what I'm going to do yet. What I do want to do, and I just decided this like a minute before I turned on the camera, was I want to use up some stuff on my desk. So I have this little piece of paper. This is a piece that came from this under paper there. So I think I might build a cluster and put it on the front here. So I just am looking at what I've got. And remember, I'm using, I don't know if you can see here, I've got like blues and turquoise green. Now I have these stamps here, stamps and tickets here. And I actually was going to use these in the, oh, I love this. Okay, look, this says admit one. Are these perforated too? They are. Are they? I can't tell. Is it? Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, these are tiny little stamps that say admit one. Oh, how perfect is that for when you're talking about God's presence, you know, and that you're never alone. That is absolutely perfect. Okay, I didn't even know that was on there. I have never used these stamps and tickets before, so they were on my desk, so I have to do that. So now we've got that admit one, and we've got our tiny little bunny here. I would love to go ahead and let's see. I'm going to tear it because this is so organic looking. I don't want like square edges or anything like that. So I'm just going to tear it. You'll see a little bit of the trees, not a bunch, but I know what it's about. So, yeah, so let's go ahead and tear that. Okay, so we've got that, and then we've got, all right, that's a little bit big if we're going to use that piece. Actually, maybe I will save that for something else. So we've got our little bunny. We've got our admit one. Let's see what else I have. I'm just foraging on my I'm foraging on my desk. Oh, those are little peoples. What is this? What is in here? I just want to use stuff up. You know how it goes, right? You just want to use the stuff that's on your desk. And honestly, after Christmas, I'm going to be doing a huge cleanup. And some of this stuff might just go because I get so sick and tired of looking at the same stuff over and over. And I figure if I haven't used it, am I going to use it? I don't know. I don't know. That has red on it, that little piece of fabric. I really don't want to introduce red on this particular tag. Let's see what else I have. See how well prepared I am? Not. But that has to dry anyway. So I'm just going through this. You've seen this pouch before from when I work in my trashy, my big trashy and my little trashies. It's just bits and pieces of paper and so on and so forth. So I'm kind of just going through here real quick to see if maybe I can find something with some blues and blue greens or something on it that, okay, that might work. That's just a piece of like marbled paper with blues and greens on it. Like I said, there's absolutely no reason to it other than it's the color's right? Okay, now I have some of this. This is just some coffee dyed paper. Okay, so we're getting some little stuff together here. That's good. We're getting some little stuff together. Let me see what else. Just real quick. If there's, okay, I'll tell you what. I know what I have. Okay, I've got a tea bag. Maybe we can use a piece of tea bag. And I'm just reaching over here for my fabric scraps here. Okay, I have this. Maybe we'll use some of that. It's not very colorful, but that's okay. Okay, my fabric scraps bin is just a total disaster, if you can see here. All right, I think we're going to go with this, and I'll show you what it is. I think it is a piece of a silk hanky or something. And I ripped a piece off it, but I like it because it's very kind of ethereal. Is that the word I'm looking for? Let's see if we just, can I tear it? Yep, I can tear it. I won't be able to tear it to the end though because it's hemmed. All right, let me get rid of the big piece. Let me cut this little piece off here. See, this is what I used something, the part next to that before. So let's see if we can't get a cluster going here while my pocket and my tag are drying. So I can't go more than 3 inches across, and I don't even want to go that wide. So let's go ahead and tear a little bit of this coffee stain paper and see if we can't just build a cluster real quick to put on the front. And you know, on these I really don't want to spend a huge amount of time on the decorating of these tags. I love the idea and everything, and I think it's really cool to do it, but it's got to be I'm sorry, what I'm doing is just pulling this apart. There's still a little bit of tea in it, and I want to make sure I can get it all out in the trash can and not all over my desk. Okay. I don't want to spend great amounts of time on these things. I just don't have time at this time. I would rather spend time looking up the verses and doing that than actually decorating. So that's where I'm going to spend my time. Okay, so I've got a piece of tea bag paper. I've got that piece of, I think I'll put the tea bag paper behind the coffee stain paper. Then I've got our little bunny. I really don't have anything of color behind there, but I don't know, is that okay? Oh, I do have this one piece of marbled paper. I forgot I had that. Let me see here about this little piece of fabric stuff here. I don't know how anybody could use a silk hanky unless this is just actually a pocket hanky or something. All right, I think I need to make my bunny a tiny bit smaller so that I can see all the layers. And then there's this paper. It's really ugly on that side, but that side's pretty. It's like marbled, like bookend paper. So let's go ahead and let's just tear a piece of this off and see how this looks. And I think I'm not even going to ink the edges on this because I've got some white in here, so it's not the end of the world. Now this I might just have to have like sticking out, something like that. But see, I also still have this ticket that says admit 1, and I think I might just do something like this and leave that admit 1 kind of sticking up here by itself. So I have to back this up a little bit because the cluster itself, this portion here, and only little pieces, like little pieces are sticking out of this. This part here, I can go ahead and staple. And I should be able to, yeah, I've grabbed everything there. But the admit one, I need to glue up here because obviously it wouldn't fit in the staple. So let me go ahead and do that. Put that up here, like that. I think that's where we need it. And then we can put the little bunny here. And see, the bunny I'm gluing down because I do not want a staple going through my bunny or, you know, in the woods, you know, the trees behind him. I don't want a staple to show. So I'm just going to, oh, look what I did. I somehow, where's, honestly. Oh, look, this is just going everywhere, this glue. It is absolutely going everywhere. I have to be careful here that I don't stick my shirt in here because I stuck it on here. But it's okay. The paint was dry, so that's okay. Okay, that's fine. What did I do with my cluster? Here it is. Okay. Okay, so there's my cluster. So that's going to go on the front of the tag. So what I need to do is, oh, I know, you know what? If I make this a tag, this white stuff could be, let me just get rid of that. That's sticky. This white stuff could be the, oh, perfect. That can be the, what? The tie on the tag, right? So let's go ahead and cut the tag shape. And then, well, I want it a little bigger than that. See, you can't see this, but somehow I managed to get glue everywhere. I can feel it. It's on my hands. Where is it? Oh, for crying out loud. It's on my paper. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and make the tag here. And I really do like the gold. I think that that's very pretty. I was going to use silver and I pulled out some silver paint, but I might use the silver. I don't know. It depends on what the word is and so on and so forth. But certainly for this one, I'm using the gold. So I've got that there. And do I have a hole punch on my desk? Probably not. Oh, yes, I do. I've got my crocodile. I have to just reach. Ugh, sorry. Reaching. Okay. I've got my crocodile. So let me go ahead and put a hole in the middle here. Okay. And now I need to, there's more glue on this. Oh my God. Oh, if you saw my desk, it is a disaster. I've got to clean this mess up. Okay. Okay, so I've got my pocket here. I need to put my pocket on. I decided what I was going to use instead of just using the boring round hole punch. I'm going to use this scalloped one, and I'm just going to stick that in a little bit and try to, I don't know if you can hear this or not. Oops. Well, that was fun. I might be able to use that on something else. So I can put my pocket on the back like this, and then of course the writing is going to go in there. So let me go ahead and glue, if I dare open this glue again. You know what? I'm not going to open that glue. I'll open this glue. It had that other glue. The problem was it was upside down. I had it upside down. So let me go ahead and glue this one on. Oh, I love this word presence. I mean, what a gift that we're never alone, right? A true gift. Okay, so there. I probably won't stick the little reading in during this video because I do want to let this dry and I don't want to glue it. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear the meowing and the scratching on the door. Holly wants to come in. Oh, she was perfectly asleep while I started this video and now she needs to come in. So here's where, here's where the reading's going to be slipped in there, but I need to let this dry. I need to let that dry. So let's just go ahead and turn this over and attach our cluster. to here. You know, I could have probably inked this bunny. I wonder if I still can, if I can very gently ink him in a little bit of black. I wonder if I could do that. Just almost like gray. If I can ink him with, come on, get some ink on there. Just to make it stick out a little bit. Okay. See, I said I didn't want to spend time on these, right? And what am I doing? Spending lots of time on these. Okay. Oh, so while I'm doing this, there, I love that. Okay, let's go ahead and attach our bunny. I just got back from doing a craft show yesterday, my second one, and it was really good. It was up at the cabin. It was in Highland. It's called Wintertide, and it was a good show. It was good sales-wise, and it was just a fun show. And I'll tell you, I am really getting to the point where I'm feeling like a resident of Highland, because I know people, I recognize people, they recognize me. You know, it's not just, I'm just somebody who goes up there, you know. Now, should we go, let's go ahead and ink the whole thing. Let's ink the whole thing, shall we? Just the edges, I mean. Just to give it a little more depth. And I'm inking in black. Yeah, so it was a really good show, sales-wise and people-wise. It was an easy show. It's easy in, easy out. I only did crafts. I didn't have vintage stuff there, so there was nothing heavy or anything like that. There wasn't a whole lot of fragile stuff. And I sold so much stuff that packing up was so easy. We didn't have a whole lot to bring back. And Mr. Moss Cottage is my right hand at shows. He does all the schlepping for me, and he checks people out. He packs stuff. He's just really great, and he enjoys it. You know, because I kept telling him, you know, you can go home. I'll be fine. My friend was set up next to me. If worst comes to worst, I could have always asked her to watch if I needed to go to the restroom or something. No, he wanted to stay. He stayed the whole time. So it was truly, truly a fun show. But we were only at the cabin very short, just for the show. So, yeah, we'll be going back in a little while, and then we're going to close the cabin for the winter because it's just getting too cold up there. And it's not, well, it's not even too cold because it's not cold at all today. The problem is if it snows or anything up on the mountain, the road, it's the 1 mile that we have to go off the highway up the road to the cabin off on the gravel. That's the problem. All right, I'm going to save these little scraps and that little scrap of paper, that little thing that we cut out, some of these other little scraps, as long as they're not covered with glue, that I might use on the next tag or one of the next tags that we do. So I just want to put these on so I don't stab myself. All right, so here's my little tag right here, the little bunny. And the word is presents. And I think I might have to, maybe I will write the word here or stamp the word or something and put it here so I know what the word is. Because it is on the writing, but there's glue on that too. There is on the writing, but if you just look at the front of the tag, you'd want to know what the word is. So somehow I will put presents on here. I have to think of what I want to do, whether I want to stamp it on or something like that. But anyway, so that's my first tag for the Advent Word 2023, and you know, hopefully one of these words will speak to me, and I'll have a little time this week to do another one. And if I do, I will either make a video of it, or you know, at the end I will certainly do a flip through. Like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to bind this. I have been looking at some videos about binding tags, and there is the tab method, and I've never done that before, and I thought, well, maybe I'll try that. And I'll have to see, you know, each one of these might be a different height, but see how the paper does cover most of the back. So it really doesn't matter if this part's decorated, but, you know, just a little bit on the pocket or something. I might do a little bit more, I don't know. But anyway, so that's it for today. I hope you liked this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you do. And until the next video, guys, I hope you're all truly blessed. Bye-bye.